Hi, good afternoon. It's Tony, your weather guru. Today is July 12th, 2019, Friday, and I'm bringing you your weather update today, centered around Tropical Storm Barry. I just want to give a quick update on Barry. National Hurricane Center will be issuing a intermediate advisory at 8 p.m. Central Daylight Time, which will be coming out shortly. But we have Tropical Storm Barry here. It's slowly moving at west northwest at 6 miles an hour or 5 knots. Winds are sustained. Maximum sustained winds are sustained at 65 miles an hour. What you can expect from this system, from New Orleans southward, it's just going to be a bunch of rain. There will be some wind impacts, maybe a little bit of power outages near the coast, but because the system is not well organized, there's a lot of wind and vertical shear and dry air entrained on the northeast and north side of the system, meaning that all of the convection and showers are on the south end of the system, and it's very disorganized. And so, but in spite of that, of course, the system has grown, but it's just not real potent, if you will. It's not as organized a strong inflow outflow that we typically see with tropical storms and hurricanes, and so as such, it's going to have a hard time getting its act together. So the impacts that you need to be worried about with Barry are going to be heavy rain. They're saying it's a life-threatening storm surge. Will there be some storm surge? I don't know if it's life-threatening. You're looking at a 3 to 5 foot water rise just because of the nature of the churning of the Gulf of Mexico. Okay, so if you're on the coast, obviously, if you're below Morgan City and Plaquemines Parish and those counties down there, way to the south, and south of Huma, Louisiana, I believe it's called, you might want to evacuate, obviously, because of the levee situation and because of the water that's backed up into the Mississippi already River, Delta, because of the flooding that has happened in the Midwest. All that water's coming down. So that's the only reason that complicates the situation. Other than that, this is your typical garden variety tropical storm. Um, they may upgrade it to a hurricane just before landfall. Potential landfall impacts. We're looking at Saturday morning, maybe between 6 and 9 a.m. Saturday morning. This thing will have made landfall somewhere between Morgan City and Homer. It'll make landfall in the morning, wee morning hours, and then it will weaken significantly to a depression by the time it gets up toward Baton Rouge. So, guys, it's going to be slow moving. We're talking it's only going to be moving inland at 5 miles an hour. So, of course, the rain totals, but they're saying 20 inches of rain. I just don't think it's going to be that much of rain out of this thing. You may get some areas, isolated areas, get 10 to 12 inches of rain, but I'm not looking at anything at 20 inches or anything like that because the system is very compact. Tropical storm force winds do extend out quite a distance. But the hurricane hunters have been out there and they said that they bump it up. They could bump it up to a hurricane, but it's asymmetrical structure. We can't, it has found a low. They have found a low level circulation at the center, but it's just not going to be a very potent hurricane. So that's good news. The bad news is, like I said, is that the rain is going to be slow moving. So if you're in one of those heavy rain bands, you may pick up 2-3 inches an hour of rain. And I don't, with Louisiana, a lot of it being sea level or below, that's flooding is definitely a certainty. At least over 50% certainty that a lot of areas are going to be flooded. But the good news is, like I said, is by Monday or Tuesday, this should be out of here. We have another little disturbance here that's just coming along in the little Straits of Africa out there in the far Atlantic, but it's only given a 20% chance of development. And the reason why is because you can see here on the National Hurricane Center map, there's still some Saharan dust that they're dealing with out here, and also there's some dry air in the trough here that's going to help inhibit this system at least in the short term. So formational chances in the next 5 days is only 20%. Once again, Tropical Storm Barry update here. Now I just want to show you on the radar scope what we have here. The New Orleans radar is currently showing that we have some of these bands trying to come in here. As you can see, this is the circulation is in here. Let me just point out to you this right here is Barry. So it's about 100 miles inside 100 miles now of landfall. So it'll cover that tonight and get into somewhere, make landfall somewhere between New Iberia and Houma, Louisiana, as it pushes northwest into Louisiana Saturday morning between maybe 6 a.m. and 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. in the morning. Okay, that's when the eyes, the supposedly eye of the system is going to make landfall. But as you can see, these bands coming in here, we're going to have showers coming into New Orleans. New Orleans, not so much. Most of the South River, the Mississippi River Delta, and also into Mississippi itself, Pascagoula, Gulfport, Bay St. Louis, Mississippi, towns like that could be experiencing storm surge on the order of about 3 to 5 foot, which is pretty moderate for a tropical storm, minimal hurricane, tropical storm type of deal. But so just be prepared for that if you choose to stay in your home or ride it out along the coast here along 90. As far back in Florida, you can see heavy rain back in Florida too as well. We can take a look at that radar. Florida, most of your rain should come tonight and through tomorrow here. As you can see, there is, I'm going to take this off. You can see there is heavy rain here extending in the panhandle of Florida. I can zoom it out. And these are some of these showers coming up from that moisture that's being affected, coming up, streaming up north from that moisture from Barry's outer wings here. Through Panama City, we can zoom in here. Panama City, Destin, some of the beaches, Navarre Beach, on over to Pensacola here. We zoom in here, you can see some of the showers. So these will continue throughout the night until Tropical Storm Barry makes landfall at around, like I said, 6 a.m. Saturday morning, and then Florida rain should subside, but it'll still be pulling a lot of Gulf moisture through here and everything as far as that. Now, we put the distance track on. As you can see, these bands are about 230 miles away from the center of circulation, which I just showed you, which is out here, just about off the edge of the screen here of this radar. So, Tropical Storm Barry is moving slow, and I think that's going to be the concern. But if we look at a lot of radars here, we can see not that we can see a little bit of rotation from the Lake Charles radar, a little bit from the Lafayette radar here, but the New Orleans radar clearly is showing the rain bands trying to make their way into the area here, and we can see here that the storm is just on the edge here. As you can see, this is just on the edge. So far, this is all the north convection here. Most of the convection is now out here in the south. So as that rotates into Louisiana and Mississippi and Alabama, that's why they issued the flood warning and flood watch. So once again, impacts will be felt. Heavy rain, possibly up to 8 inches, 8 to 10 inches of rain could be possible north of New Orleans. Here, where it makes landfall at, so Houma, between Houma, New Iberia, Morgan City, Plaquemines Parish, and all the surrounding parishes, and then also up in the Mississippi in this region. Actually, I'm sorry, and yeah, to the east here in this region here in the Delta and up towards Memphis, they can get between 8 and 10 inches of rain. As far as somebody seeing 20 inches, I'm just not sure about that. I don't think it's going to be enough convection with this system, meaning the bands of rain showers, the feeder bands are not going to set up in that way to produce that much. But like I said, we could have a torrential localized of anywhere between 12 inches or so. That is possible. Okay, so we'll make it through. We'll survive. This is a tropical storm, minimal, but it will produce a storm surge, and it will have a lot of rain with it that will cause some flooding because of just the nature of the levees and the nature of the sea being below sea level. So stay safe out there. Have your supplies. I recommend having 3 to 5 days worth of water, food, gas up your cars, candles, solar powered candles or candles. You want to take those precautions. You want to have some blue tarps as well if you haven't got that in the past, because this is hurricane season, and so we're just now starting. This is just the beginning of hurricane season. June, July, we see stuff in the Gulf, and then later on we start looking out into the Atlantic towards Africa and towards the peak of it, late September, October. So stay safe, my friends. I'll be bringing you another update as the storm makes after the storm makes landfall, and I'll tell you how things are going to be going, a gradual weakening as it goes from a tropical storm, hurricane to a depression to just an area of low pressure producing rain up here in the Midwest, the central Midwest. So thank you very much for joining me, and have a great day.